Because already we discussed all the basic concepts, right? Today I'm going to show you the Veka tool. Veka is purely a open source tool. Through this tool, I'll show you how to implement classification, clustering, and all. I'll show you. And after that, it will take only 15 to 20 minutes. So once we completed, then we'll go for neural network. That is convolutional neural network implementation. I'll show you with Colab. Uh, this is open source code only I'm using. With sample data, online data only I'm using. That demonstration I'll show you. Okay. So once I completed, you can ask your queries. So when once we open Veka, once you downloaded no Veka, this is purely an open source tool. It is purely for solving the machine learning applications. For machine learning algorithms, you can able to apply it, and you can able to provide the solution with the help of a classification, clustering, and association rule mining, right? And apart from that, if you want to show the visualization and all, if you want to show the output through the visualization tool and all, you can show with the help of this Veka tool. This is Vekato environment for knowledge analysis, we can say. And University of Vekato only developed this tool, and it is purely open source tool. So you can able to download this particular Veka in your system only. This is free, purely free. You can download and you can solve some applications. So once we open Veka, you may have some options. So I don't want to explain all the options. I'll let you go with the concept called Explorer. And once we get into Explorer, we have actually before providing the solution, we need to have the source of information, right? Data set information we want. So why we want to use data set information? Anyone please tell me, and then why we are going for machine learning algorithms? Any idea? I hope you can able to answer this question.
To analyze the data, ma'am.
To analyze the data, and if you have a volume, see, if you have only 5 number of records, 6 number of records, in that you can able to classify the data easily, cluster the data easily. To analyze is also very easy, right? So if you have high volume of a data, and we will be taking more time to compute the data, to analyze the data, and the accuracy also will not be that much high percentage, right? So if you use some tools and techniques and all, it will be providing the output with more accuracy. And in that also we have some differences. We have supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised will be there. When we have a data set, we should have some labeled data if you want to go for a supervised algorithm. And if it is unsupervised without labeled data only, we can able to apply. Semi-supervised means combinations will be there. Some data value will be labeled data, and some will be there some unlabeled data, that you can able to apply with semi-supervised learning, that is reinforcement learning. We can able to use it. So that is there, that already we discussed when we were discussing about the concepts called deep learning introduction only, we were discussing, right? So once you enter, we have to do first pre-process the data. So the flow we have to maintain. Once we have a data source, once you are collecting the data from various resources, we cannot say that we cannot able to apply the raw data into a particular algorithm. We have to do the pre-processing. So during the pre-processing, you can able to identify how many number of data are there, and in that how many missing values are there. That everything you can able to identify it, right? So with the help of pre-processing. So under pre-processing, we have to open a file. So once you created a particular file, and Veka, it will support CSV file format, that is comma separated value file format, and then ARTF file format, attribute relation file format, sorry, ARF file format. If you want, you just note down attribute relation file format, it will support. So by default in Veka only, we have many number of ARR file will be there. I'm just searching that. Once again, I'm not getting that open source file. Vaishali ma'am, sample ARR file will be there, no? In that. Yeah. Otherwise, we have to create. No, now no time. No. Vika. Data. Yeah. So these are the sample data, and we have already created say ARR file already in our lab. So that will, yeah.
So that is also will be there. This labor.
Yeah. IRS only we have only created. Yeah, we only created this ARF during our lab actually. By default will be there. Weather report will be there. Some data will be there. Once you downloaded this Vega, you will get to know what all the files will be there by default. Apart from that, if you want to create your own data, if you want to use your own data, you can create it. How can you create ARF file format? Yes, you just go to Notepad. In that you can able to write all the data, you can able to insert all the data. First you have to define the relation specification, and whatever the attribute you want to include, that you can able to include. And apart from that, you have to insert all the data. Okay, so I'm just taking this IRIS. This is actually leaf related data we have. What is the length of a sepal, and width, petal length, petal width, and apart from that they've included one more attribute is called class. So that I'm taking. Once I open a file, you just see by default it is showing this chart visualization. It is showing how many attributes we have, and what is the value, minimum value is there in this particular data set, maximum value, statistical report we will get it, what is the mean value. So for example, by default, if we want to calculate the mean value and standard deviation value, we have a formula that we have to apply, then only we can able to calculate. But if we click under pre-process, if you open a file, then by default it is showing. So relation name it is showing, you see IRIS. Instance also it is showing. How many number of instances they have added? 150. I'll open the file and I'll show you once again. Right click. Because already we have stored this file as a ARFF file format, so only it is showing the Sveka symbol. So I want to show you the source, so only I'm doing right click. I hope people are listening, right? I hope
Yes,
people are
ma'am.
listening. Yeah, very good. System is little slow. You just see, yeah. So our relation name is IRIS. Attribute we have included like sepal length, width, petal length, width, and class. And in class, actually, we have included all the related this one class specification. We are targeting 3 classes specification, and these are like real value representation. Apart from once you included all the attribute, we have to include the data of specific data for the specific attribute, and then the related classes. Classes you can able to use only 3 classes. So data you see, first they've included sepal length, width, petal length, width, and then they're specifying the class representation. Like that, they've added a 150 number of instances. So if you go for counting the value also, it will be taking longer time. But you just see in Vega, it is showing the total number of instances also, and how many number of attributes are there, and what is the weight of a value. Everything it is showing. So this is like pre-processing, and we wanted to select all the particular thing. If you wanted to add more number of attribute, you can able to add it. So with the help of add attribute, and if you want to remove, then you can able to remove it. And you can able to go for classify, and you have to go for selecting the specific algorithm, what type of a classification you wanted to do. I'm just choosing the algorithm by clicking choose. So I wanted to go with trees. I'll go with this J48 tree. I'm just clicking. You just see if you want to do the calculations and all manually, it will be taking longer time. You just see, and once I am giving start button, by default, within a fraction of second, it will be displaying everything. What is the accuracy value? What is the precision value? What is the recall value? Everything it will be showing. See? So with the source of information, it will be showing everything. What is the name of relation? What is the instances? What many number of attributes are there? What type of a test board we are doing? Here we are doing 10. By default, it is showing 10 fold cross verification. If you want to do, yeah, you can able to minimize or maximize something. And the prune tree value representation and all it is showing. You see. So what is the main node petal width? What is the condition it is applying? By default, it is applying condition. So petal one width should be less or equal to 0.6. By showing the diagram, by showing the tree, you can able to clearly understand the concepts. How it is showing. The tree should be like this. With the help of these conditions, it will be displaying. And number of leaves 5. Now original leaves we are targeting, and size of a tree 9. Everything it is showing. You see. So you just see accuracy rate, everything it is showing. Precision, what is the precision value, recall value, and confusion matrix also. You might have studied actually, sir. HOD sir told me that you people have already completed all machine learning implementations and all with the help of Anaconda, right? And you can feel the difference actually. In Anaconda, actually, we have to write some code for doing the implementation and all. Here, we have to input only the data set. By default, all the algorithms have been implemented in such a way that if you give input information, by default, it will be showing the corresponding output with respect to the algorithm. Because you see, when we are going for choosing the algorithm, it will be showing random forest, random tree, and apart from that, we have a fuzzy algorithm and bias, navy bias algorithms are there. We have a meta algorithm. So many algorithms were there. And once we right click on this particular result list, if you go for showing, clicking the visualize tree, then it has to show the tree. I have clicked. So you can see the difference. It will be taking only less time to complete everything, right? It has to show. System is very slow, yeah. Under cluster also, you may have a clustering related algorithm, an association rule meaning also you can able to do it, and visualization. Overall, the plots you can able to specify it with the help of a visualization tool. So this is the concepts of Veka. So please try it by yourself. You just download Veka and you just do some application before starting developing the application. Before starting providing the solution, you please try to collect some data from various places. That you please keep it ready. That data you just upload it into the Veka and you try to apply algorithms. Then you get some results. With the help of that, you just write a paper you write it. Comparative analysis you do as a first year students, you can able to write a paper by comparing the algorithm which is comes under the class. Same problem you take. Okay, so for example, if you're taking medical data, that medical data set you just apply it for with the help of classification algorithm and clustering algorithm. Then you do analysis, which one is providing more accuracy. Accuracy you can able to get it here. You see, accuracy, recall, these are all the two important terms we can say. Now you got a decision tree. You see, because the system is very slow, so only it is taking too much time to construct the tree, to display the tree. So what are the attributes we are following? That with respect to this, with respect to a condition, you see, whatever the conditions here we are taking with respect to that, it is showing the output. You see. So first, what we are taking, a petal width is less than or equal to 0. Then we can able to go with this IRS set to us. And petal width is greater than 6. Then it will go again another decision making statement. It will display the value depends upon the condition. Depends upon this, it is showing the tree like that. So for example, if you sit manually, if you wanted to set the conditions, if you wanted to draw the decision tree and all, it will be taking longer time. But if you use the tool, then it will take very less time to construct a particular tree. So why we wanted to do construction of a tree? Decision making, you can able to do it very efficiently. So for example, that medical disease related information also, if you apply, you can able to get to know whether the particular patient is affected, how no, whether the particular patient status, that is health status, whether it is in severity level or medium level or normal level, everything you can able to get to know with the help of a decision tree. So like not only it is not only related to a IRIS data, IRIS purely related to a leaves. They are doing some research with related to trees. So for example, when we have a leaves and all, that is trees and all, or trees or some plants, it may get affected with some viruses, or it may affected with some uh, it will be infected, right? So if it is infected, then we can get to know the percentage level also with the help of this tool. So clustering, you see, same data I'll be using for a clustering also. I wanted to go with EM algorithm only. EM means expectation maximization algorithm, we can say. So please go through all the algorithms as much as possible, because we have some limited number of us, famous algorithms are there. If you wanted to go beyond the limit, then you please learn the algorithm, then you do it. Just I'm giving start only, you see, for the same I'm just giving clustering we are doing, not classification. This is purely a clustering. So it is showing the clustering results. There we have received a classification value and clustering. You know what is the meaning of a classification and clustering? Classification, which is purely classify the data whether the particular thing is like positive or negative. There you see, you just recall the decision tree, whether we can go with the condition which is greater than or equal to 0 or less than or equal to 0. Here you can able to go with, you can able to group the value with related to a number of cluster. Here actually they have created a cluster. It is created a cluster 0 1 2 3, which means 4 number of a cluster it is creating. And with respect to that, it will be showing the value. What is the mean value? What is the standard deviation value with respect to a length, width, and a petal length, with everything? If you want to go for calculating the mean deviation value and all with respect to all attribute specification, it will be taking time. So with this tool, we can able to get the value easily. And this is like clustered instances specification. The percentage level also it is showing. So with the help of zero cluster, 48 number of instances we are targeting, and 50 instances, 29, 23. And we may have, and I by default already we discussed, we have 150 number of instances. And just now I have shown you the source also. Here we don't have any number specification for the data, right? So if we apply this value in Veka, it will do count. It will show how many number of instances are there in the particular data also. And like that, association rule meaning also you can do. And inside the association ruling, by default it is showing a priori algorithm. That only I'm just using. And you can able to go for other algorithms also, a priori. So you just select a priori attributes. You can, if you want to change the attribute specification, you can able to change it, and you can able to go for starting. And for this actually, actually I have selected this filtered associator algorithm. It is showing only this much output. It is not enabling. You try to do it in your system and select attribute. If you wanted to go for selecting the attribute best first, you have to do it. And visualization, you can able to do it with the same data set. You can able to do it visualization. If you want to do alterations with the point size, plot size, you can able to do the alterations. Variations in the delay, which means jitter is purely variations in the delay, right? If you want to do some variations, yes, you can able to do it. Plot size also you can able to change it. And this point size also change, everything you can able to change. Once you have done, you can able to go for updations. So you see, you can able to get the visibility is like very high. You can able to change the size. And attribute also, instead of selecting all the attributes, you can specifically concentrate a specific attribute. You can able to do it. That you just update it. It will show only the specific attribute related information. And with this, you can able to do. You can able to get this output. You can able to get this, right? So you can click print screen, and you can able to crop it. That you can able to paste it in a Word document. Then you write you can able to write a results and discussion. You can write it. That's it related to Veka. You just please work on it in your home, Veka. You try to consider any data set. You try to apply pre-processing. You do classification. You do, and cluster. You do. Okay. Visualization also you please see it. And under visualization, you just adjust this value, and then you just see the value. Clear? Clear? And knowledge flow is there. This is where it will take so longer time to do the applications. Knowledge flow analysis also you can able to do it. So with the help of knowledge flow, you can able to transform one type of a data into another type of a data. So for example, if we create so many components in between the source data, source component, and then the destination component, with the help of knowledge flow analysis, you can able to convert the corresponding ARFF file format into Excel format. You can able to get it. CSV format, you can able to convert it. That conversion you can able to do it. So for that you can able to get the concepts called knowledge flow analysis. So for this we need to have the support of ARRF loader will be there, and loader will load the ARRF file. Then finally we have to go for the normalization process. We have to do it because we have to insert normalization in between the original source into a destination. Normalization is needed before transforming the information into a Excel format. You know what is the meaning of normalization, right? Any idea about normalization? Any idea about normalization, students? Any idea about normalization? My dear students, please reply me. Any
No,
idea
ma'am.
about? No. Normalization means you will be studying DBMS concepts in your future semester. Actually, DBMS is purely a database management system. You can able to create n number of records. For example, if you wanted to maintain students database management system, yes, you can able to create it. Students roll number, name, marks, address, everything you can able to load it. If you wanted to track only one student specific records, for example, I wanted to track, I think his name is Narayana, right? Narayana's name only, and with the help of a roll number I can able to get it. For that we have to write a query. So we have a query, a structured query language is there. With that I can able to write it. So for example, before getting the information from the database, we have to create a database first. For that, you will be studying query and all. Create a table name. Inside the table name, you have to include all the field representation. Now you people are studying C programming concepts, right? C programming you are doing, or Python programming you are studying?
Python.
Python programming you are studying. So input information is very important, right? Without input information, we can't do anything, because for solving the problem, we need to have the support of input information, right? So input is, it is not like one input, two input. We need to have a database, which means we have a more number of records will be there. In that, more number of field will be there, more number of data will be there. In that, if you wanted to track only Narayana's information, it will be taking longer time. Manually, if we do, then it will be taking longer time. If we write a query, then we can able to explore the data very easily. Within a short period of time, we can able to get it. So normalization, we have to do it with the help of with the concepts called database. Normalization is the process of improving the quality of a particular database. Okay, if the database is normalized data, we can say that everything is available in the particular database is like valid data. We can say efficient data. We can say that you can able to apply it for the application for problem solving. Shall we move on to convolutional neural network? Shall we move on? Shall I close this window?
Yes, ma'am.
Will you please download this Veka tool, and can you come up with classification and clustering related output? Can you show your output to your HOD? Will you do it?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Please try to create ARRF file first with the help of Notepad. Or otherwise, you just use first from the beginning, you just use default ARRF file that you just use it for Veka. You try to apply one algorithm, you try to understand the concept that you just explain to HOD sir. I will tell your HOD sir, you just ask sir, other students, all the students, and this you just take it as an assignment only. Veka, you please download everyone. That in that everyone has to implement one program. You have to show your output to HOD sir. Okay, please do it. And now you see convolutional. Anyone please tell me what is convolutional neural network? Because I taught you, no, in the last class, what is convolutional neural network, what is recurrence neural network, what is neural network and all. Anyone, can you please give me the definition? What is neural network? What is convolutional neural network? Why we go for a convolutional neural network and recurrence neural network and all? Anyone? Someone has to reply.
Image classification, image recognition.
Very good. It will be doing very efficiently, right? When rather than the ordinary neural networking concepts, right? CNN, if we go, then image processing we can able to do efficiently. Recognition, exactly. Recognition it will do efficiently. Right? It's very good. So now you see, I am just doing the same. Do you have an idea about collab, Google Colab?
Yes, ma'am.
Collaborator, right? So in that you can able to execute variety of different types of a program. C you can do, C++, Java, Python, any code you can do. Just I have included other Python code for a convolutional neural network. So before starting into a title, I wanted to give you some overview of this particular concepts. And when you talk about neural network, which is purely it will have some layer will be there. One layer will be there. That specific layer is to be called as convolutional layer, we can say. This convolutional neural network consists of some condition. This condition is like we have convolutional layer and we have a pooling layer. At last we have a dense layer. If you want, you just note down, because in between we'll be discussing these concepts only while seeing the demonstration. So we have in a neural network, we have a layer. That layer is called convolutional layer, neural network layer. And we have some in that convolutional neural network, we have some conditions of the following layers. First layer is like convolutional layer, and second is like pooling layer, third is like dense layer. So first is like convolutional layer. So it will in CNN summarize the presence of the feature in an input image it will be having. Pooling layer will be providing an approach to downsampling features maps by summarizing the presence of features in the patches of the feature map, which means it will be doing the matching process, this pooling layer. And dense layer, what it will do? No, see, when we are handling this particular network, we may have a input layer, output layer, and intermediate layer will be there. What and we have discussed this concept called multi-layer perceptron and all already we have discussed. So you just please recollect the concepts of a multi-layer perceptron. Once we produce the output with the help of the input layer, that it will act as an input for the corresponding next layer. So in between we may have many number of hidden layer. So with the help of a dense layer only, it will be taking all the input information from the previous layer. So that is to be called as a dense layer, we can say. And with the help of a dense layer, you can able to classify the images which is purely based upon the uh, output form. Whatever we are trying to get, that it will consider and it will classify the value and it will provide the value. Depends upon your condition, it will provide the solution. It will classify the value. And apart from that, when we talk about the convolutional operation, it is like purely a two-step mathematical operation. And as I told you before, if you wanted to do something machine learning and deep learning related, you wanted to be very thorough with the concepts of a probability distribution concepts, linear algebra, and vector you wanted to know, array concepts you wanted to know. So many. If you are thorough with the mathematics, you can able to solve optimization problem. You can able to solve any problem. We can say the recent problems all related to a mathematical background. We have to be very strong. Then we can able to learn the concepts very easily. You can able to implement the program also very easily. Okay. So actually we have, when we go for a convolutional operation, we have to do first, when we have a element wise multiplication of the convolutional filter, and we have to slice the input in matrix information. So for example, when we have a 5 by 5 matrix, so in that we can't able to apply directly 5 by 5 matrix into a particular network. So for that we have to go for slicing. We have to do it. So how can we do the slicing? So you can able to go with a 2 by 2 matrix or 3 by 3 matrix. Like that, you can able to go for a slicing. So you have to slice because we have to divide the input matrix. Yes. 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 Any doubt? Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You have to divide the matrix you have to slice the particular matrix, that you have to do it. Second step is like summarization of all the values in the resulting product matrix. So once we once we have done it, then we can able to go for a summarization, which is similar to a dynamic programming concepts only. How we can see, when we have a programming concepts, we have a static programming and dynamic programming concepts. Static means by default, static is a keyword. If it is a static, then during the compilation time, it will do the operation. Dynamic means during the runtime it will perform the operation. Okay, and which one is best? Yes, I can say that dynamic is best because at, at see when you're doing something, if you want to do make some alterations in between, because while we are running or while we are executing during the runtime, if you wanted to make some changes with the original, yes, you can able to change this when we have a concept called dynamic programming concepts. Okay, and if that is the condition, we have to divide the whole problem into many number of a sub problem, and we have to compile the sub problem separately. Then you can able to go for integration process. Integration means you can able to combine like that. Here slicing you have to do it, then you can able to go for summarization of all values you can able to go for, and finally you can able to get the resulting product matrix value. So for that reason only I told you to learn the concepts called arrays. You please learn array. Okay, and apart from that, actually filter will be there. No, this convolutional filter will be there. With the help of a filter only you can able to divide the original matrix value. That filter you can able to do, as I said, 2 by 2 you can able to use it, or 3 by 3 you can able to use it. So with the help of 2 by 2 you can able to divide the matrix, and finally you can able to summarize the value. And next, I wanted to tell you one more point also. When we have a data set, we may have a training set and we may have a test set. These two key points already I have explained for you in the last class only. Can anyone please tell me what is the difference between training set and then the test set? Training set and test set?
Training set which is used to train the model, ma'am.
Very good. Very good. Ranga, very good, Kanna. Test set?
Whether the training is correct or not,
That is the particular once you build the particular model, you can evaluate the model with the help of a test set. Yes, very good, very good. And when you talk about test set can be divided into two. Test set or validation set we can say, because it is for validating the particular model. Is Ranga very good? I hope you are learning the concepts. You already learned some basic concepts. You will be learning more also, right? You try to create some applications once you learn, and you try to solve some problems, Ranga. You just keep
Okay,
your
ma'am.
interest like this. You try to work on daily 1 hour for a research. Don't limit with only machine learning, don't limit with only deep learning algorithm. You try to go beyond the limit. You just start from the basics. You try to all basic concepts you learn. Then after that you just go for specific algorithm. Then you identify some problem, real time problem you please consider. For that you try to provide the solution, then it will speak more. Okay,
Okay,
it's
ma'am.
very good. I need to appreciate you seriously. And apart from that, we have already discussed cross entropy concept also. Any idea about cross entropy? So whatever we discussed so far, that only I am showing you the demonstration today. Okay, for that purpose only I'm just recollecting the concepts. Cross entropy also we have discussed already in the last class. Any idea? No idea, no problem. So when you talk about cross entropy, so when we go for uh, the concepts called classification, because we are doing classification now, right? Whether the particular image is like dog or cat. For example, if you are giving some input information, we have to identify whether the particular person affected with the disease or not. That kind of activity we can able to do it with the help of a convolutional neural network. So with the help of this, it is like I can say that it is a generalization of log loss to multi-class classification problem, and it quantifies the differences between the probability distributions, two probability distributions. Apart from that, here we have another keyword also. Cross validation is there. What is exactly the cross validation? Now we have discussed some validation last when we were discussing the Veka. It was showing tenfold cross validation, right? It was showing, right? By default it was showing tenfold, and you can able to go for maximizing and minimizing also, I told. So what is that cross validation? It is purely a mechanism for estimating how well a particular model it will generalize to new data by testing the particular model against one or more non-overlapping data set. Because we are trying to divide the data into number of portions. If that is the condition, we have to evaluate, right? And this particular mechanism is purely for estimating how well a particular model will generate to a new data by testing the model against one or more non-overlapping. Non-overlapping means data should not be repeated. So for example, if I'm going for splitting the original matrix into number of a sub-matrix, whatever the value will be available in the first matrix, it should not reflected with the second matrix. That uniqueness we have to maintain. So with the help of that, you can able to calculate how well the particular model has been constructed. That testing you can able to do it with the help of a cross-validation technique. And apart from that, so when we have the concepts called, I'll show you the code you see. This is like convolutional neural network implementation. And here actually, I am taking the open source data only, that is CFAR data. In that it will be included many number of images like frog images and bird, cat, deer, airplane, everything we have included. Totally we have 60,000 number of images we have included. Right? So if I start downloading, it will be taking longer time. So only I have included only the open source data only. 50,000, 60,000 images will be there. In that, I wanted to show you only the first 25 images which is available in the particular data set. So for that, we have included the code. So what are the code actually? So out of 25, whatever the images are there and related to airplane, automobile, bird, cat, deer, dog, frog, horse, ship, truck, these particular classes has to be displayed. So these are all to be considered as a classes. Okay, this is like 10 by 10. We have to include it. And for this, for a convolutional neural network, we need to have the support of main libraries and API. So we have TensorFlow concepts. And any idea about TensorFlow? Any idea about TensorFlow?
No, man.
In Python, please note down. So in Python, actually nowadays Python is playing major role when we are doing for analytics of analysis of a data. Science people, they are using Python only, Python code only. Even if you want to go for a machine learning, yes, Python you can able to implement it. Deep learning, yes, with the help of a Python. Most of the artificial related applications I can able to implement with the help of a Python, right? And here we have a concept called TensorFlow, and here we have the API. API is purely, this is TF we are using. Actually, I can say when we talk about programming languages, if you have a lengthy of a name, for that, if you wanted to create some alternative name, that you can able to create it with the help of namespaces. Like that, here you can able to create an alternative name for the particular original matter. So for example, here we have created a TF alternative name for TensorFlow. And I can give you one more example also. If you wanted to access some functionalities of the particular class, you wanted to create object reference of a particular class, then only you can able to access it. Like that, we wanted to create TF. So instead of TensorFlow, I can able to use TF only for accessing any functions. So in future, so I can able to access any functions with the help of TF. So only we are using a TF. Okay. And now you say import TensorFlow, we have to do it as TF. So this is like TF.data we can say, and this is dataset API. This is high level TensorFlow API. It is for reading the data and transforming it into a form that a machine learning algorithm requires. So please note down. So it is purely a high level TensorFlow API for reading data and transforming it into a form that a machine learning algorithm requires. So what algorithm is requiring that it can do it, it will satisfy it as a TensorFlow, but it acts as an API. API means application programming interface we can say. And you people are studying first hand, so only I'm just going in depth. API is application programming interface. It allows the user to provide some input, and whatever we are giving as a request information to the particular system or to the particular application as a API, it will be act as a mediator between the API. Whatever we are giving the request information, that it will be taking, it will be forwarding to the operating system through the help of a kernel. That it will do. So yeah, here it is a high level API we can say. And apart from that, and I can give you the meaning of tensor also. Tensor is purely a data structure we can say in the TensorFlow programs. I don't want to go in depth here because if I go in depth, no, then you people will not get understand. But for that reason only I'm telling you, you please try to spend at least 1 hour or half an hour daily, you try to learn all the basic concepts, definitions and all, you please learn it. Once you understand the concepts, you just please make a note in a particular notebook. You just keep separate notebook. Because for example, if you're trying to learn deep learning concepts from the scratch, yeah, you please keep separate notebook. You start from the beginning. Whatever the key points are coming, that you please note down, you please understand. Once you learned, then you just make a note of it. Then for the future reference, I'm telling you, because in a single class we can't able to learn all the concepts. What? Because we have variety of a sub will be there. When we talk about API, we have n number of APIs are there related to a Python. We can't able to learn as a whole. If I explain also, you will not able to understand. I can able to tell you the flow. I can able to guide you how you can able to implement it. But as a student, you please sit and study. Then only it will be okay, I can say. So I want to go with in that. So TensorFlow will be there, that act as an API. And apart from that, we have a Keras keyword. You see, with the help of a Keras Python also, you can able to implement. Yeah, that for that reason only we are using. And the Python deep learning API, it is also API which is purely designed for a human being, not for a machine. Keras is purely designed for a human being, that is for the user, not for the machines. Keras follows best practices for reducing the load, and with the help of this you can able to interact. And there will be some interactions will be there in between the deep learning framework, and then the I can say deep learning framework is called a Keras, and it acts as a mediator between our idea, user idea, and then the experiment. So it will receive the user idea and it will be forwarded to the experiment, and with the help of experiment we can able to get the result. Once we achieve the result, then no problem. Otherwise we have to refine the idea, we have to modify the idea, then we can able to get the second variations of output. Like that we will be doing. Okay, so that we have to actually we are importing the TensorFlow as a TF. From TensorFlow Keras we are importing the data set, layers and model. From this we are importing data set, we have to import layering concepts we have here in convolutional neural network, because we have a pooling layer, dense layer and convolutional layer. I told you, from the beginning. And apart from that, we have to develop a model. That model only we have to evaluate it. Everything we have to include it here. And when you are studying C, then you can get to know, because we have to include all the header file, as include stdio.h, which means with the help of header file only you can able to use the function. And in Python also, if you wanted to use some special, you have to importing the special features into our application. Then only you can able to access the functionalities of the particular classes. Like that we are importing here. And apart from that, this is very important, I can say, import matplotlib.pyplot as a PLT. This we are importing as a PLT. So instead of this name, you can able to use this PLT. First of all, you wanted to know what is that matplot library, that pyplot. And it is purely a collection of functions that will make matplot library work like MATLAB. And we have a MATLAB will be there. With MATLAB, we can able to provide many number of solutions here. You can able to write Python code there, and you can able to provide the solution for any problem. Like especially MATLAB is purely variety of applications you can do, and efficiently it will do optimization problem. And actually, this is like licensed version, we can say. If we wanted to purchase MATLAB, if you wanted to learn, now you just no worry. And if time permits in the future semester, you please MATLAB also, and that features here we are including. So with the help of this, actually we are just consolidating all the functions with the help of matplot library. So for that reason only we are doing. Please note down, if you want, this particular thing is a collection of function. It will make matplot library work like a MATLAB, because we wanted to display, finally we wanted to display what may be the accuracy value, what is the precision value with respect to the corresponding data set. Because once we are evaluating the model, we wanted to say how much accuracy it has been achieved. That we wanted to say. With plot, we have to visualize. For that, we need to have the support of matplotlib.pyplot. For that, we are including. So all of you clear with this import? All of you clear with this import? Shall I go with the next one? I'll try to complete it, no problem. Yeah, please reply me. You people, you people are like, you are in home, no? With your busy schedule, you people are listening. I'll try to complete, no problem, within 20 minutes. You please reply me. Once you clear, then I'll go to the next step. Yes, very good. Yes, very good. Now you see, once you import all the packages, you have to go for loading the data, because as we discussed earlier, for the Veka tool, once we created Veka tool, yeah, what is done? That we have to include it in our particular application, because with the help of a data set only you can able to go for classification, clustering, association, everything you can do. Here we wanted to do for analysis classification, we have to do it. So for that, this function is very important. Yeah, please note down. Load data is a function which is, we are loading the data from the CRF10, which is available in a data set class, because here you see we already included this particular class. From this we are accessing CIFR10, and in that we are doing the function load data. So once it is done, then automatically the whatever the data set already we have, no, that will be loaded into our particular application. And I told you very clearly, in data set we can able to categorize the value data into two different forms: training data, test data. Right? So for that, actually they've included value. They've given, you see, downloading data from HTTP, the open source value they've given. And next, we have to specify the class name. Now we are targeting, I wanted to go for displaying only 25, first 25 images in the particular data set. So for that, we are using for loop here, right? And for I in range of 25, first 25 we are targeting. And here these are all like sub functions, we have to do it, and without this it will not work, but because it has to show, right, number of rows and number of columns it has to show, then we have to do it. And in subplot we have to pass parameters. What is the number of rows, number of columns, and number of rows, what is the index value specification, everything we have to specify. And apart from that, we have a figure size function is there, the figure size function. And these parameters are purely a width parameter and height parameter. What is the width of a figure? What is the height of a figure? If you want to make some changes, you can change. And if you wanted to go with behind the limit, you can go behind the limit, right? And this tick will be there. No, this is purely get or set the current tick locations or labels of a particular x-axis value and then the y-axis value. And this actually, here we wanted to ignore the grid value. If we include the grid value, then the figure will not be like that much clear. So I wanted to ignore the grid value, so I have included the false message. An image we wanted to show with respect to a training images of I number of images will be there. In that we wanted to show the image, and it will be like matrix representation. It has to show like a number of rows and number of columns. With that we can able to go for calling the functions. X label value we wanted to concentrate, and show function, with the help of show you can able to get 25 number of images. So yeah, 5 5s are 25 images it will be displaying. I'll show you, I'll execute and show. Wait. And next we have to go for, once we displayed everything, what is the next thing we have to do it? Okay, so we have to go for creating one second. Convolutional base we have to create. As I told you before, we have a convolution layer and pooling layer will be there, and in that we have, you just see we have indicated the ReLU. Okay, so what is that ReLU? Any idea? And activation functions and all already we discussed. No, can anyone please tell me what is activation functions? Anyone? What is activation function? Why we want to go for activation function? Anyone? Tell me. Anyone? Activation function? I explained so many times now when we are discussing about the concepts of multi-layer perceptron. Why you people are like so silent? You people are like sleeping or listening? Anyone? Activation function? People are not listening. Not listening. People are not listening.
Past
Not
layer
really a
A
transformation,
output is
not
taken as a front layer.
Sumati also answering, Ranga also answering. Any one reply, please? Yeah, I got confused in between these two answers.
non-linear transformation.
Non-linear transformation is very good. And how can we do the transformation? With the help of activation functions only we can do, no? And we have so when we have considered some network, no, how can we traverse the network? We have to activate the node, then only we can able to go for transforming the information from one node to another node, then only we will be reaching the final output, then only we can able to go for comparing the current output with the target, then only we can able to get to know whether the particular output is right or not, then we can able to go back propagation. Please recollect, we have discussed no back propagation, error we can able to identify, activation we can do. How can we do the activation? With the help of a bias value, with the help of a input information, we have done it. Yes, in chat also I have received some message. It's very good, Tenmuli, which converts the input data to certain output data with set of rules. Yeah, rules only we have to apply some weight value information and then the bias value information. And we have discussed some formula also. Could you please recollect it formula? Could you please recollect it? What is the formula we have used? What is the formula? Summation I is equal to 1 to n number of a value. Xi into Wi we have used, no? Sum of, right? With that we have to add the bias value. We have discussed line by line, yeah. You will not recollect it, not able to recollect the concepts. Okay, no problem. You please, so for that only I'm telling you, please don't attend the seminar for a name check. Once you complete this seminar, you please keep in touch with the CNN. You try to learn full core part of a CNN. You try to apply other type of data. You try to come up with other solutions. You do. Okay. Now you will be like so young. Like your mind will be very fresh and so active. You have to do so many things with this age only, right? Okay, so now actually we have a relo activation parameter we have passed now. So what is that relo? Please note down rectified linear unit. We can say this rectified linear activation functions. Activation functions we need to have, because when we have a network, in network we may have many number of a node will be there, and I have shown you some example diagrammatic representation also. When we give some input information, activations will be happening, and at last it will be providing whether the particular object is like a dog or cat, whatever the conditions you are applying, like that with the help of the condition it will be showing the output. Like that we have to include this, and apart from that we have to include pooling value also, and this convolutional layer we have to include it, everything we have to pass it, and we have to go for summary of a particular model. You can able to get it by compiling this code. You can compile this code separately, you will get the details. And apart from that, we can able to go for, once we go for a summary, you can able to go for a dense layer, because I told three number of layers: convolution layer, pooling layer, and dense layer. So we have to add the dense layer, and I told you very clearly why we want to go for a dense layer. It will be providing whatever the input we are giving with the help of a pooling layer or the convolution layer. Finally, with the help of a dense layer only, we wanted to provide the solution. Then now you just consider this first layer, convolution layer, is similar to a input layer, and pooling layer is similar to a hidden layer, and this dense layer you just consider as an output layer. With the help of this layer it will be providing the output, but with the activation, with the help of an activation function only. That you please consider. Okay. And apart from that, we have a summary you can able to get it once you included that dense layer. I'll show you, I'll compile and show you. And once you done the model, you can able to go for evaluating the model. That you can able to do it with the help of this code. And for that we need to have the support of the function called compile with the help of a model is like already we created this parameter. With the help of this you can able to compile, and you can able to get the history of information. And in that, the very interesting thing is like this epochs, 10 number of iterations we have to do it for providing the solution, for improving the accuracy of a particular model. And here we have not only deep learning, in machine learning also we have a keyword like epoch in deep learning, and this is a term which is used in machine learning concepts, and it will indicate the number of passes of the particular entire training data set. How many number of passes, like this is pass 1, pass 2, pass 3, up to n number of passes we can do. And you just see totally we have given actually epochs 10, so 10 number of iterations it will do. You just see the difference. From the first iteration it will be showing only this much accuracy. Number of iterations it is increasing, you see iterations it is increasing, and until 10 it will be doing, and final accuracy you see how much it is reached. 70% it has reached. And once we reach the accuracy level, evaluate the model and all, we have to show the visualization with respect to accuracy, right? That is how much accuracy we have received. that accuracy we have to display it. And here actually we have used two different terms, accuracy and value accuracy. We have used, see, we have used value loss, value accuracy, and apart from that we have accuracy. So here in plot actually they've considered accuracy and value accuracy. These two label only they are considering, that history only they are considering, depends upon that history. And they have give it by default. If we compile this code, by default it will be showing this output. And you see here accuracy is like 0.76 and value accuracy is like 0.7. That's it. So depends upon that it will be showing the output. And apart from that, here in this particular graph, x axis purely for epoch specification, y axis purely accuracy specification. If epoch is increasing, by default accuracy rate also increasing. You see accuracy rate from the beginning how it will be, and finally what may be the accuracy. You see accuracy, you see 4 it started, 7 it has reached. Value accuracy you see 0.5, and accuracy at last in the 10th pass it is reaching 0.7. Like that you can able to go with that. So this is the thing. At last, final test accuracy overall consolidate, I can say the overall accuracy you can able to show with the help of test accuracy. This is the overall accuracy. So this is the code, and if you want I'll share the code also. You can able to get open source code only, no problem. And if for once you include the code in Colab, you want to compile portions by portions. First you have to run this, you have to import, then you have to load the data. Once it is loaded, then you can able to go for this. So from the beginning it was not displaying. Yeah, actually I have implemented yesterday, so only it is displaying the 25 images. Because if you go with first time, if anything is wrong in that particular code, it will be showing error. Otherwise it will be showing the output related to a input. Whatever the classes you have given, that corresponding output it will be displaying as an image. It will be displaying. So I have implemented yesterday, so only it is showing. And this model base we have done it. And summary it will be displaying with respect to all the layers. Here we are including only the convolution layer and then the pooling layer. And out of all, it will be showing what is the total number of parameters, how many number of training parameters we have. Non-trainable parameters 0 only, because we have everything we have done it. And dense layer we wanted to add, that you can compile. Once you compile, you will get the output. And in both the layers, like convolutional and pooling layer and then the dense layer, we wanted to pass the parameter as a activation parameter. RLO you have to pass it, so you can able to get the value. And here also, what is the parameters we are targeting. Once we have done it, you can able to go for a compilation process of a particular model. It will be taking some time because 10 iterations it has to do, 10 number of passes it has to do. No, so once it's been done, then you can able to go for the plotting of value. Then finally you can able to get the overall accuracy. You can able to get related to a particular model. So what I'm suggesting, so instead of this images, you please try to collect your own images. You try to go with only 50 number of images with you. Please try to go with only 50 number of images that you just apply. You just in Colab only you do same open source code only you apply, and you just see the difference. What may be the accuracy, you just see how it is working. That implementation you just understand the implementation. Then you will get to know the you will clearly get to know the concepts. Then after that, you just ask your faculties or you just search it in net. You will get n number of things. Okay, then you will get the clarity. So once it is again, then if we compile this, then it will show this only. And if I compile print test accuracy, overall accuracy, it will be showing. That's it. So this is the demonstration of convolutional neural network. Any doubt you can ask me. Any doubt you can ask me, because it will be taking time. Yeah. Now only second pass is doing, because it has to search everything. Because we have given many number of rows, many number of images we have given. No, it has to analyze all the images. Then only it can able to provide the last value, accuracy value, value accuracy, everything it will be providing. Any doubt? My dear students, please ask your doubts. General queries also you can ask. Please ask your queries. We'll try to complete at least before 11. Yes. Yes, my dear students. No doubt. Ranga, Nandini, Tenmuli, any doubts? Sumati? Any doubt? No problem, no? You can able to do it, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Still it is running. It will be running and it will be showing. I have shown you, no? 10 number of epochs I have shown you already. But for now I am just compiling. I hope no doubt. Any doubt? Any doubt you can ask. No doubt. No doubt. General doubt also you can ask. It is a time for doubt clarification. Sir, completed, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, any faculties are there in meeting? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Students, am I audible? Yes, okay. So I think, how was today's lecture? I think previously we were discussed about the machine learning. We are taking the data sets and analyzing. Now it is deep learning. You can identify the difference between those two. So do you have any doubt or clarification? Madam is available. You can ask doubt generally or from today's session. Okay, no doubts. Shall we close the session? Nagireti?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So,
I hope people are clear, right? I hope people are clear. I hope you people have an idea about how can we create a data set, how can incorporate the data into applications, how can we evaluate, how can we build the model and all. Tentatively you can able to get the flow and all. But the thing is, like, they have to sit, sir. They have to spend time for
Yes.
learning all the concepts in deep. They have to implement some small portion, sir. Actually, I have assigned, without your permission, I have assigned some assignment to the students also.
yes, yes,
They
yes,
have
yes.
to submit assignments to you. They will submit, sir. I hope.
Okay, okay.
Okay, sir.
So now it is your turn. You can go through what we have completed. It is the fundamentals of the deep learning. So daily you have to prepare. You have to take your own either real-time data set or some data sets are available in GitHub and all. Already I told you. So you download it. You practice it. Once you practice even the existing data set and get some output, so you can understand the concept. Then you can go for any new model. You can create your own new model. That is your mini project or main project. Okay? Right.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Sir, till now we are not aware about creating a data set, sir. Just now
Data
only,
set. Ah,
just now only we have seen in that example images, sir.
yes.
25 images shown now, sir, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
So how to create that data, sir?
Madam?
Sir, Kanna, you create a folder. In that you just paste everything altogether. You create.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That source path you just load it first. You just see the code here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You just see here. This is a
Nagireti,
Yes,
this
sir.
is not a data set file. As per Madam session, you can create and load the file. You can image file. You can download it and load into that folder. Then you can
upload
take
it.
as a
Load
data.
the data. Load data function. You use it. Then it will be loaded into the particular thing. Application it will be loaded. If it is a textual information, as I told you before, Excel you use it, Ranga. Excel
Okay,
is there, no? This
Yes, ma'am.
Excel
Yes,
you
ma'am.
use it.
I'm aware about Excel, ma'am.
Yeah. That notepad also you can use, no? That I
Oh.
shown you, no? That ARR file format.
Yes, madam.
That you use it, and you can any doubt in between. You people can keep in touch with me. I'll share my mail ID.
Okay.
You can ask any doubt in between if we
Those who
started
require,
implementing.
Sir
Madam is
already told us,
already.
ma'am, creating .csv files, those and all.
This you try, yeah. Image you try, Ranga.
Okay, madam.
With limited number of images you just implement first. Then you
Okay.
try to go with extending of images, number of images you add it.
Okay, madam.
In
It
between,
is,
if you have any doubt, you just mail me. I have sent a mail ID. You see, this is not only for Ranga. It is available for everybody. In between, if you have any doubt, you please contact me. Or you can check with Sir also. Sir will guide you.
Yes, of course.
Okay, madam.
Okay. So I hope you can get a basic foundation knowledge about the deep learning. Dr. Shanbagali madam, thank you very much for cooperating with us, even though you have a very busy schedule. Actually, the session we plan to conduct in the end of the September itself.
Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Because of some
We
celebration,
have some other,
leaves.
celebrations and in between holidays.
Yes, sir.
Busy schedule with you. So anyway, postponed it. Successfully you completed.
Okay.
With your help, madam, students have learned basic and foundations about the deep learning.
It's
Thank
my
you very
pleasure,
much,
sir.
madam.
Yes, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you for
Thank you.
spending your valuable time with us.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So even I want to thank Dr. Lokesh sir for giving me the opportunity, and I want to
Yeah.
thank Kuppam Engineering College for this opportunity. I want to thank all the students. You students are very good, sir. They were very interactive. I hope they have learned some basic concepts from through this particular webinar. You please don't stop with this. Please keep on doing, keep on learning, and keep on providing solutions to the public, because you people
Yeah,
are like
of course.
youngsters. They can do anything, but the thing is like people are not ready to sit and do the work only. But
Yeah,
if
of
you are
course.
yes, they have to do it. All the best to all of you. Thanks for patient listening. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your
Thank you, sir.
motivational words
Yeah.
Thank
towards
you,
our
ma'am.
students.
Yeah. Sir, I told students, sir, they need to submit some assignment. They have
Yes,
to
okay.
create some application with output. They'll submit, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Okay.
Thank you all.
So, dear students, we'll close the session now. Okay. Thank you very much to all of you. And whatever the today's session, actually for the deep learning session, around about 3 days we have conducted, including today. Completely, it is on 5th unit content. So you can prepare only what are the content we were discussed in this deep learning. Only those content you prepare for your mid exam and final university exam. Apart from this, it is not required. Only as per the syllabus, you need introduction to deep learning. So even though we were discussed one of the CNN algorithm and its evaluation output also we have discussed. Okay, thank you very much to all of you, those who attended, and all the best for your mid exams and university exams. Prepare well and get good marks and very good score. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.